Hey, so pronunciation is an important part of learning any language, including English. And I know that pronunciation is a concern for many of you. It is natural for English learners to be worried and stressed about how their pronunciation sounds. So in today's lesson, we're talking about 8 things you can do, practical things that you can start today to improve your English pronunciation. So let's get started. The very first thing you can do is to go back to basics and learn phonics. Now, phonics refers to learning how to read letters and the sounds that they make alone and together. So learning to read the sounds of combinations of letters. So native English speakers learn phonics in school when we are little kids, including me. When I was very young in kindergarten and in grade 1, we learned phonics. Of course, we didn't know that that's what we were learning, but that is how we learned to read, to recognize letters, to recognize sounds, and of course, to pronounce the sounds that exist in our language. And I'm sure that you learned phonics in your own language, but unfortunately, it's something that adult English learners overlook or forget about, or it's just never taught to them. So it is very important to kind of go back to the basics and learn the sounds that letters actually make in English. So let's look at a quick example. If we take the letter I, the letter I has 2 sounds on its own. A short I sound, which sounds like like the word it or in or sit, okay? Or a long vowel sound, which sounds like the word I, okay? So short I sounds like in, sit, it, and long I sounds like I, nice, side, die, okay? So these are the 2 basic sounds of the letter I. But if we look specifically at the long I sound, this sound can be formed with different combinations of letters. So for example, high, try, die, and high, like high up, all have the same sound made from different combinations of letters. So high, here the I alone makes a long I sound. And try, the long I sound comes from the letter Y. Die, I-E together makes the long I sound, and high, I-G-H actually makes the long I sound, all right? So that is just one example, but learning these basic rules of phonics and the different combinations of letters and the sounds that they make is very, very helpful with your pronunciation, with your spelling as well. Okay, so the next thing you can do is to learn the International Phonetic Alphabet. Now, if you've never heard of the International Phonetic Alphabet, it is this right here. It's these funny looking symbols. And basically, this is an alphabet where each symbol represents a sound in English, okay? Now, this is very useful for English language learners because it is standard that everyone uses. And when you look up words in the dictionary, you will see these funny little symbols there beside the words to help you learn how to pronounce it, because in English, unfortunately, we do not read words exactly as they are written or spelled, all right? So for example, take my name, Julie, which is spelled Julie in the English alphabet. If we transcribe my name using the phonetic alphabet, it actually looks like this, okay? So I would read it as Julie, the same. Okay, so remember that each symbol equals a sound, not a letter. At first, it's a little confusing and a little tricky, but it is very, very useful if you are trying to work on your pronunciation. The next thing you can do is shadowing or copying people when they speak, all right? So a lot of sounds that exist in English don't exist in your language. So it's unnatural for you to physically make those sounds. So your mouth doesn't naturally move in certain ways. Your jaw, your tongue doesn't naturally move in certain ways to produce certain sounds, all right? So a very helpful method or approach is shadowing or copying someone that has good, clear English pronunciation, okay? So for example, you can shadow me. You can shadow any one of my lessons. But of course, you can use a TV show, a clip from a movie, a clip you find on YouTube. You can use podcasts. You can shadow literally anyone who has nice, clear English pronunciation, okay? And when you are shadowing or copying, shadowing is just another way of saying copying, okay? I encourage you to pay attention to the speed or the pace, the tone, the intonation, the rhythm, the word stress, okay? So pay attention to all the little details of their speech and try to copy as closely as you can. And next, you can take shadowing to the next level by recording yourself speaking. Now, I have said this before and I'll say it again, that recording yourself speaking in English is such a useful tool for improving so many English skills, all right? So you can record your voice on an app on your phone. You can film yourself if you like, if you're feeling brave. But the point of this is to be able to compare yourself and your sound and your pronunciation to the person you are shadowing, to the original audio. So let's say, for example, you take 10 seconds of this lesson and you decide to shadow me, okay? And you record yourself and you say exactly what I say, and then you listen to me again, and then you listen to your voice again. When you're actually speaking, it might feel super awkward and uncomfortable and unnatural, but when you listen back to it, you will probably be pleasantly surprised at how close you might sound and how natural you might sound. Of course, it's very hard to assess yourself in the moment that you are speaking. So recording yourself gives you the benefit of being able to go back, listen again, catch your pronunciation mistakes, and compare yourself to the original audio that you were maybe trying to shadow. It also lets you keep track of your progress. So if you do this at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you'll have a collection of recordings and you can go back and listen to yourself and how you sounded a month ago and how you sound today. And you can start to recognize how far you've come, what areas you still need to work on. So I strongly encourage you, if you haven't done it before, record yourself speaking. The next thing you can do is learn about word stress. You can learn the difference in word stress between words that sound similar. For example, 60 and 16. Okay, 60 and 16. With numbers, it's very common for people to misunderstand, mispronounce, and mix them up and make mistakes, especially with numbers like this, all right? So 60, the word stress is on the first syllable. So the first part of the word is stronger and louder, 60, okay? And 16, the second syllable or the end of the word is louder and stronger, okay? So listen carefully and see if you can hear the difference. 60, 16, okay? 60, 16. So these are two different numbers, of course, and they are pronounced differently, even though they sound the same to a lot of people, okay? You can also learn common word stress patterns that we use in English. So for example, words that end with T-I-O-N, the suffix T-I-O-N, the syllable before that is stressed, okay? So listen to these words, for example. Information, communication, dedication, investigation, pronunciation. Okay, so you always stress the syllable before this suffix. And this is one example of common stress patterns that we have. So learning word stress will really help you because, of course, words are not stressed the same way in every single language, and this will help with the clarity of your speech. The next thing you can do is use technology to help practice your pronunciation. So use dictation tools and applications like Siri, for example. Instead instead of typing in something when you are searching for it online, try talking to Siri or talking to Google or whatever application you have on your phone and see if the technology is able to pick up your voice in English, all right? Another thing you can do is use websites like dictation.io. So basically you just dictate and the website types for you. You just speak and it types for you. It's a free tool, it's very useful, and you do have to speak clearly and slowly, okay? That's just one example. And anytime applications give you the option to use speech or voice instead of text, give it a try. This will force you to speak clearly to make sure that the application understands you. The next thing is to learn common features of English pronunciation, like connected speech. If you've never heard of connected speech, it's basically when the sound from one word runs into the next word and you can't really hear where one word ends and the next one starts, okay? Connected speech is a feature of natural English pronunciation and you 100% hear it all the time. I use connected speech when I talk to you, so whether you realize it or not, you are hearing connected speech all the time, every time that you hear natural English being spoken, all right? So here's an example. Instead of I don't know, we say I don't know, okay? I don't know. So these three words basically blend together almost into one. The sounds are linked and connected. Another example is did you. Did you. We usually just say did you. Did you, okay? So it sounds like it's just one word, but it's actually two. So these are two simple examples of connected speech just to help you have an idea of the concept. And finally, you can listen. Listen to how other people pronounce words and phrases that you find difficult, all right? So whenever you don't know how to say something or you don't know the correct pronunciation, listen to how other people say it, other people around you. It's also important to be aware of differences in pronunciation and listen for differences in pronunciation, for example, between British and American English, just as an example, all right? So in British English, this word is pronounced vitamin, okay, vitamin. But in American English, it's vitamin, okay, vitamin, vitamin. Another example is garage and garage, okay? Completely different, but the same word. So start to listen for little differences in pronunciation. And if you're not sure, you can always ask. You can always look it up online, okay? Because there are differences in pronunciation and it doesn't mean that one person is wrong and one person is right. So just keep that in mind. So there you have 8 very practical things you can do to start improving your English pronunciation today, all right? I also want to remind you that accent and pronunciation are 2 different things. You do not have to change your accent or get rid of your accent or have a British accent or have an American accent to have clear pronunciation in English. So please keep that in mind, okay? If you do want to change your accent, that's a different story, that's a different topic, but we are talking about clear communication in English, clear and accurate communication, of course, all right? As well, don't forget to grab your free ebook, English Conversations Made Simple. I will link it just below this lesson. If you have any questions on today's topic, of course, leave them down below in the comments for me. Thank you for watching, spending time and learning with me today, and I'll see you soon in the next one.